Social Perspectives, hosted by J. Gentile Everett, is brought to you by the Renaissance Ministry.
Hello and welcome to Social Perspectives. I'm J. Gentile Everett. Tonight we are going to have with us again Bishop and Mrs. Williams, part 2. We had such a spirited show the last time. We didn't get a chance to cover all of those interesting areas in their lives. So we're going to have them back. We want you to stay tuned and be prepared for Bishop and Mrs. Williams, part 2 on Social Perspectives. We'll be right back. Welcome to Social Perspectives. We have again Bishop and Mrs. Williams, and we're going to talk about an area that might be painful from time to time. It has to do with public scrutiny. How, as leaders in a community, we always have to be criticized. And it doesn't too much matter which way we go. We're going to have to face the ire of somebody. Somebody is not going to see it as we do. So I want to first ask Sister Williams.
I'm going first.
You're going first.
All right.
I know it has to be tough being the wife, pastor, and then being a community leader in your own right. And you have kids, and you all had young children before they became adult children. What was it like for you and for them to have to deal with all the things that would float around in a community? And that's all they would do, just float around.
It was very difficult. I think in the last segment that we did in the last show, preacher mentioned about me being a protector. I feel like I always have to protect him.
I understand.
And I think it was because the things that were floating around,
Yes,
it wasn't true, of course, and because I know him.
yes,
And he's the same at home
yes.
as he is out in
Okay,
public.
sure.
So it was kind of, I felt myself always having to say, no, that's not true.
Yes.
No, he didn't do that. No,
Yes.
he didn't say that,
Yes.
because I know him,
Sure.
So, he always say, you don't have to protect me. I have a mother. Stop trying to be my mother. And I wasn't looking at it like that. I was just trying to defend him as a man.
Because you loved him. And
I liked him a whole lot.
You liked him
He
a whole
was
lot.
alright. But because I just simply knew that it wasn't true. So I kind of overstepped a lot of boundaries in doing that. I guess I did, in a sense. I'm not saying I agree with what he said, but I did to kind of like become a protector,
How did that make you feel then when she was...
Well, I don't know if it made me feel, masculine.
I see.
And it almost, I felt, violated to a degree because
violated by who?
well, understanding that, because it wasn't necessary for you to protect when I was the provider and the protector. And it's almost like, you can't let me be a man.
I see.
And so you don't have to, protect me in that end. And so because I was so conditioned to train my fingers to war, and I, because I, am a believer of the word, and so I welcomed enemies.
Yeah.
And I knew that the haters were just
You
a
love
small fruit. Not that I love mess, but I couldn't get a table prepared before me
Unless
if I
you
had enemies.
Yeah, you had to have some.
And if I was going to another level, I needed, stepping stools.
That's true.
And so he made my enemies. And so
That's true.
whenever they talked about me, it gave me the fuel to go to the next level.
Yes.
And because I wasn't preoccupied about what they said, then it wasn't a problem to me. And so when most people say that it's a struggle, it couldn't be a struggle because they were trying to condemn something that I love to do.
Well, the bottom line, I get it. Public life
It's public life.
It's what it
It
is.
is what it is.
And we do not control
Right,
who comes into that space.
right.
Anybody who's living has the right to be a part of that public life.
That's right.
And when you are a servant to people who don't know you, some pretend to know you and don't know you.
Right.
And then the other thing is, right in your midst, your enemies are usually right up there under you.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
not that person that's way over there.
Right,
It's usually somebody that's in your space.
right,
I understand that the human part.
right.
The human part sometimes makes us angry,
Yes.
and we all have a natural impulse
Right,
to respond when we've been pierced.
right.
It's almost a natural response for us. When that flesh is pierced, it wants to hurt.
Right.
Hurt people hurt people.
Right.
That's what.
That's right.
That's my thing.
Right.
It took me years, literally years to come to that understanding.
I get it. I know.
It took me a long time to come to that
And that's
understanding.
the problem with most of the church too. If we are to be like our big brother,
Yeah.
you know, and if you could be, on a cross, lied on, spit, nails and
All of that.
piercing, and then, turn around and say, forgive them, then, why can't we pattern ourselves after that? If we like that, you have to understand sinners sin. And so gossiping, lying, cheating, stealing, all of that is a part of that package.
But
It
it
is.
still takes time. And I never
Yes.
understood how, I'm not gonna say he didn't deal with it, but I think it hurt your feelings.
Sure
And
it
he's not
did.
gonna say it did.
Yes.
But I mean,
I get because he's human.
he handled
Probably
it
he just
different.
kept it inside.
Right.
He processed
Because
it
he's
differently.
like, okay, well, I got to get you straight, so I can't express how I really feel about the situation because I know it was a lot of times he was like, well, I can't tell you nothing because you're just gonna fly off the handle.
Right.
So I think he kept it to himself. It hurt my feelings, so I know it hurt your feelings. And that's just part of like being scrutinized. You don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
So if I don't think it's fair, then I want to defend who I am as
Yes.
a person.
Sure.
Favor is not fair. Yeah.
No, but that's
Well,
true.
I mean, it still take. I'm 98% there, but it took years to get there.
Well, but believe me, if we keep living, we may discover we're not even close as we think we are.
Well, I
Because
think,
given any situation,
I think
a situation can take you back and you say, what?
Well, it
It makes you think, what? Are y'all out of y'all's
it
mind?
can, but I don't know. I'm still learning and growing, and I thank God that I'm still learning and growing. So I won't say 98%. I'll say I'm still learning and growing.
Yeah, I think what's really safe for most of us, let's say 51.
I didn't really say that.
Let's just say you're just barely over the
20%, yeah. It's not. I'm not as bad as I used to be.
Exactly.
with dealing with that.
We know that there's been growth.
Yeah,
We do
I
know that.
have definitely grown, and it was a lot of growing pains.
Yes.
Oh my God, I had a lot of tantrums by
Sure.
myself because I didn't feel, if I went to him and said, he's just like, oh girl, don't worry about it.
Right.
And I'm saying, what? So now I feel like you're minimizing my feelings and how I feel about the situation,
Oh, wow.
and you're not helping me through this because of how he dealt with it.
I see.
I'm a female. I'm sensitive. My feelings are hurt.
Hmm.
You're not gonna hug me and say, "Boo, it's all right." No, he's just like, "Okay, they talking about you, so what?" And he go on.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, y'all, stay tuned. We're going to be back talking about these feelings and how these feelings can impact a relationship, how it can put on hold some joy, and all of those things. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When you're in need of making the old new again with beautiful upholstery, D. Berry's Upholstery is the best, whether it's automobile interior or exterior, boats, church pews, or any residential or commercial seating and the like. Look no further. D. Berry Upholstery's got you covered. Call D. Berry's at 910-276-2265 and experience new again.
Hi, my name is Tracy Dr. Williams. I want to take this time to thank you all for voting for me in the primary election for County Commissioner. However, we're not finished yet. We have the general election coming up November the 7th, and I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking that you meet me at the polls. My platform is simple: a safer Scotland County, a healthier Scotland County, and an economically sound Scotland County. I'll see you at the polls November the 7th.
Welcome back to Social Perspectives. This time, we're going to talk with the Williams about a moment when perhaps controversy and being criticized created a moment of pause, maybe in their relationship, when they actually wondered about each other. That's where we're going next. Bishop, tell me, has there ever been a time when there was something critical floating around, and you had to deal with it from both a pastoral perspective and a husband perspective? It involved your wife. Did it ever occur to you that maybe I don't know which way the pendulum swung at this time?
Well, I think that for me, I think, our relationship has been solidified because it was kind of built on trust.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've always kind of, believed in that. And I think we kind of question each other in our growth, but my only concern was that you would not believe in, the lies or the things that would come in, because we had, one time there was, allegations that a woman stood up in our church and, proclaimed that she was, pregnant from me. And then, and it's almost like, and so, and I think that the concern, but not the fear was, how much did she believe? Yeah. And did that cause?
How much I believe?
Yeah. No, I'm saying from my perspective.
Yeah, how you were saying how much?
Maybe you didn't, feel.
No, because they said that I was sitting there when the girl supposedly stood up and said it.
Yeah, so
you were not there.
Right. So it's those type lies that
I was at church, but
Right.
That never happened.
It never happened.
Right. And so, but it's those type things that will go in, that's put out there that you kind of say, okay, do she really believe this, or do that? And so that was my only concern.
Oh, you was thinking that?
Well,
You scared I was gonna leave you?
Oh.
Hey! You thought I was gonna leave you?
No, I think that because at the end of the day, and I challenge people, is that if you can't respect each other, you gotta learn to respect the institution.
I agree.
We respect the institution, and then the love will come. But I think that the most thing was for my children,
Yeah.
being able to kind of.
Again, right. You still got the kids.
Yeah.
And these kids are young. We're talking about young kids.
Right.
So now they can't process like you two can.
Right.
They're going to rely on impulses
Right.
far more so than a mature person,
Absolutely.
right? So now, what kind of effect did that have on them? Of course, they can hear.
Yeah.
They heard other people.
Right.
And let's be perfectly honest. The public can be extremely unkind.
Yes.
To leaders.
Mhm.
And I am a big proponent of St. Matthew 23:37, where Jesus talks about Jerusalem, thou that killeth the prophets, and stoneth them that are sent unto thee.
Right.
Now, I keep going back to that verse because my biggest problem, and I'll continue to say it, it's an old problem. 45 years of my life I've been preaching and pastoring, and it's the same way everywhere.
Absolutely.
I don't care what city you go into, it's the same. And that is, we have a tendency of wanting to shoot all of our heroes.
Yes, right. Yeah.
In any hero that we have in our community, anybody who's doing a little bit something special, something a little bit more special than others, those are the ones we're going after.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. You know how that is in doing a ministry.
But I think that one of the things that we exclude from our heroes and sheroes of the gospel is that we never talk about the children and the family members that are associated.
No,
with
we don't think about
And
that.
so, and I think that.
And they're not as strong as that preacher
And
may
they're
be.
not as strong.
They may not be.
Exactly. And so, you have to really talk your children down, but you gotta empower them and educate them that, and let them know that there are laws, Psalms 1 is one of my favorite,
Yes.
scriptures when he's talking about in this law, and we think it's just the 10 Commandments, but there are a lot of universal laws
Sure.
that reign on the just as well as the unjust, but when we start teaching them laws, sowing and reaping, do unto others that you want done unto you. And so we try to teach them those things, but those things hurt. And then when we, and I think that sometimes we as a couple may have not always seen eye to eye, because.
No, because he was giving scriptures, and I'm saying,
Right.
girl, do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Say what you gotta say.
Right,
He was like, no, you gotta give them the word. The word is that they say something, you say their mama.
Right.
That's how it's
Oh, I see.
Because
But you grew up across the creek, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, I know about the cross.
right.
Yeah.
Because it hurt my feelings.
I get
So
it, I
when
get it.
my kids were coming home telling me some of the stuff that the other kids were saying to them, I know that it came from
From
an
an adult, sure.
They had to get this stuff from an adult.
Right.
So, okay, is this what y'all want to play? Okay, y'all handle yourself. Y'all take care of yourself. And he was like, no, you can't do that. Don't be sending them kids out saying that. That stuff.
Well, that's only because, I don't like parents telling kids if they hit you, you hit them back.
Right,
And
right,
they've
right.
never had a fight.
Yeah.
I ain't saying,
You know,
I mean,
Yeah,
just
so
say something back.
If you haven't had a fight and that wasn't a part of what you had to do, then don't go sending your children out there to now fight a battle that you've never had. And
Oh.
so that's what that's my philosophy, because I said if you started, you're gonna
But
probably
they didn't start it,
They
preacher.
didn't,
They
but
never
we don't
started
need to
it.
perpetuate that negativity, and violence breeds violence.
Okay,
Yeah.
you need to talk to my girls and they can give you their perspective on
I
how
see.
they deal with it. Talk to them.
The
And we'll
violence breeds
see.
violence.
It does, it does.
So we don't need all of
You're
that.
right. We don't, but
Back to the lust, but back to these basic impulses. See, here's the thing though. I know I'm running out of time to say, but wait a minute. Just one thing we have to say. We gotta get you understand. We're human beings,
Yes,
and we all have basic impulses.
yes,
That I don't care how much Holy Ghost you get,
right,
these basic impulses
right,
still remain in place.
right.
Now I'm gonna tell you, and we're gonna get this in the third segment, but it's one thing that I am teaching right now. And this may blow the socks off a lot of church people. I'm gonna be teaching about it Wednesday, in our next Wednesday's class. And it has to do with God only made one Jesus. And if he'd have wanted another one, he'd have made another one. Let's be clear. He made one. He has all this power to do whatever he wants to do, but he chose to make one. So everybody needs to understand it ain't but one. That's it. It ain't but one.
And then when you respond to the foolishness,
We got to
you're supposed to be saved.
It's
You
only
say you a
one. You can
Christian.
still be saved and you can still be all of that, but just understand there's only one
Right.
Jesus.
Right, right.
God only gave one what he gave Jesus, and that was Jesus.
Right.
He didn't want you to have it, and he didn't want me to have it,
Right.
because if he would have, he would have given it to us.
Right.
So I just think that's important for us to know. Jesus, we will never be.
Yeah, but I think that he's given us the tool of love.
Oh,
That's-
absolutely.
And that's what we
Absolutely.
we have to kind of remember that in our society and with all of this ills, we don't have to partake in this stupidity.
Absolutely.
Ignorance.
No. Don't dumb me down.
That don't
Never dumb me down. Under any circumstances, I'll get you on that.
I think that you grow, and I don't know if our time is up.
Our time been up. We're gonna go down.
I think that you grow into that. I think that you learn that as
I
life,
get you. You're talking about growing.
Yes, you grow it
You
because
grow
I'm
into that
telling
because
you.
you don't get it out the gate.
You really don't. You don't. Nobody told me how to be what it would be like to be married to a pastor.
Yes,
That was hard as well.
you had to learn about.
I had to learn. I was even looking for a mentor and couldn't find one.
I get
Because
it.
nobody can teach you those type of experiences.
I got you.
Some things you're gonna have to go through by yourself. You're gonna have to learn on your own. So a lot of this stuff, and how to deal with people and rumors and lies and still smile. I had to learn how to do. I had to grow into that. It was rough. It was rough for me.
I'm sure it was.
It's okay. I'm okay.
She wanted to thank God. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back. We ran over, but we're going to come back and we will finish this segment. Stay tuned.
Hunger has never been more satisfied as it is when it tastes like the delicious Southern cuisines from the Clinton Inn. Here, flavor is never compromised and palate satisfaction always meets the expectation. The weekly buffet features all of the special dishes to which we have grown accustomed. Come dine with us on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy a scrumptious meal at the Clinton Inn in Laurinburg, North Carolina, where food has never tasted so good.
Welcome back to our final segment of Social Perspectives with the Williams. They have become an interesting couple. And I believe we're probably going to be headed to a third show with them because we still haven't scratched the surface of all of the involvements that they have. Now we're going to talk about, is there somebody in each other's life or some group of people that perhaps the other one don't necessarily approve of, or maybe think that you should make a better decision about who's in your space? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
I think my husband, Mr. Williams, I say he's very jealous. He said he's not. I think he's grown. He's matured a little bit.
Okay.
But early in the relationship, he was very jealous.
Very jealous. You mean of other men?
Yeah.
He didn't want other men around you?
No. Am I right about it? Tell the truth, be honest. You were.
What if you're thinking about it?
You were. And you can deny. You were.
No.
You were. And your feet still in the water.
Okay.
But no, so say more. I mean, when you
You
say
were jealous. You're a jealous man. How much more you
no,
want?
I think that the immaturity was there because I was so possessive and because I had my own personal insecurities.
I see.
But she didn't do a job because she didn't have women that could mentor in how to treat a man.
I see.
And so
Oh my goodness, y'all hear that? I want y'all to hear it. I hope y'all heard that.
Because what happens
Wait,
is
no,
that
hold on. Let's deal with that.
Yeah, let me hear
I
that.
didn't have women in my life to teach me how to treat a man.
right,
I didn't treat you bad.
well, you didn't treat me good either. So.
You still here.
The standpoint is that you had old relationships.
Oh, my
You
God.
had old relationships that you couldn't
Keep
let
it
go.
rolling. Keep it
People
rolling.
No.
Keep it
You're
rolling.
the one that brought it
Oh,
up.
wait. You cannot expect me to put Vaseline on your insecurities. I didn't create those.
You didn't have to put Vaseline on it, but
What did you want me to do?
But I think early in the relationship, when there was obviously a lot of insecurities that I had to deal with because the perils of trying to, provide and you didn't have any revenue, and then you had children's, but you didn't want to forsake the responsibility, and then when you honor or you were giving more time and attention to other men or male figures in your life, whether they were in your present or your past, it was a lot of insecurity. So you didn't help that out by understanding
And
who I was and
you
where
didn't
I was.
explain it either, sir. You didn't
Well, I
explain it.
couldn't then. That's the immaturity part because I felt alone had to develop and
Well,
to
I didn't know
understand
about
that.
no Lord.
Wow, that's what they.
Or the other hood. I just know hood.
Oh, you just
and
know
so
hood.
I'm saying at the end of the day, I get stuck between hood and heaven
I see.
quite often.
I see.
especially
So where you
when
at
that time.
now?
Well, no, I'm good now because the thing is that when you had individuals that I felt was just as inadequate as I was, but then when you started conversing and they were not bringing anything to the table, then that's that was.
And that could be male or female as
Male
well.
or female,
Male or female.
and so, like, she always used to say, I've cut her away from her friends. But so I was working, and I was working in an industry that required me to stay out late at night and things of that nature. But I'm bringing home,
money.
a substantial amount of money. And then you want to say, well, where were you at? Who are you with? And all that. Wait, hold on. That's some
I
stuff.
don't remember that.
Come on, man. That's some
I'm not
stuff you see on
jealous
TV. That's some stuff you see on
Okay,
TV.
wait a minute, Bisbee. Would you say that she was jealous?
Absolutely not.
Oh, you
Yeah,
absolutely not.
I think she was jealous.
Oh, are you kidding me, sir? No way.
Oh my God.
No way.
Okay.
So
No,
you were
but
very
I don't-
comfortable with him around other
Yes,
women?
because
But she didn't have no other choice.
well,
Okay.
in his working wherever, when he started pastoring, he always had to be in contact with women.
Sure, you got.
he always had to have
If you don't, you're
conversation.
not gonna have a church.
Right. So
I mean, that's
even
just-
with his
that's
job,
just
he
a
had
fact.
to be with women. So I wouldn't say that. I mean, there's a lot of things that you've said about me, but jealousy is not one of them.
Okay, well, I mean, but I think that once again, I had to mature into that. But now that I have, now she takes that as, oh, you don't love me and you ain't what.
So now she's reading something else.
Right, yeah. So the thing is that I discovered.
Preacher, I just be kidding with you. I know you
I
busy. You be
discovered.
working.
I discovered that when I thought I was the puppet master, I was actually the puppet.
I see.
Because she was pulling my strings to trying to make me jealous, and then at the result
no.
of it,
Oh, then look, y'all, we're running out of time,
Yeah.
and you just
Yeah.
opened up a whole
Oh,
we gonna do this
Here
again.
goes part three.
We gonna do this
Oh,
again.
Lord.
We're gonna do
Oh, my
as a
God.
sponsorship so we can come back and finish this over again.
Oh wow, this is amazing.
I'm trying to tell you.
This is
But
amazing.
that's it.
That is a bit. Look, everybody, thank you so much for joining us on Social Perspectives. We're gonna definitely have to have them back again. I'm telling you, y'all are fascinating. I knew it. I knew it when I talked with you all together that you all would bring a very spirited show for our audience, and I certainly appreciate
Thank
both
you so
of
much
you.
for having us.
Absolutely. No, y'all gonna come back. That's okay.
And
Y'all got much
we
more.
do like each other a whole lot. We love each other.
Y'all
We ain't
really
going
love
nowhere
each
and
other.
ain't going nowhere.
That's for sure. Everybody, please make sure you keep up with Social Perspectives and make sure that you contribute to Renaissance Ministry. All of the ways to give will be on your screen, and let's all support Gentile's preferred list of businesses. They too will appear. Lastly, I just want to say to everyone that we believe in the candidacy of Sister Tracy Williams. I just want to make sure that we say that, and please know that you have our full support, and anything we can do to help you, count on it being done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all again, and join us the next time on Social Perspectives.